A big piece of the logistical puzzle of travel nursing is trying to figure out housing. Hi, I'm Kristen. I am a travel nurse recruiter, and my husband John has been travel nursing for the last 6 years, and I've been lucky enough with my kids and dog to be a tag-along. When it comes to planning out the logistics, I'm usually the one behind the scenes making it happen. Now, if you really don't want to mess with housing, that's okay. You can have your travel nurse agency do it for you. It will affect your stipends though, so make sure that you talk to your recruiter about it first. 90% of travelers choose to find their own housing, and this is because they can take that stipend and usually find something a little bit cheaper and pocket the rest. This is how a lot of travel nurses make their money. Remember, you must have a tax home and duplicate your expenses in order to take the tax-free stipend. And we're gonna talk about that a little bit later in a future video about taxes specifically. In this video, we're gonna talk about 4 options for housing: furnished housing, unfurnished housing, hotels, and our specialty, RV living. We'll discuss the pros and cons of each one, some tips, and what to do if you're having trouble finding housing. Up first is furnished housing. Companies like Furnish Finder, TravelNurseHousing.com, which is actually powered by Furnish Finder, Hello Landing, Airbnb, or VRBO. And all of these are really great sites to look at because they're going to give you a wide variety of places that you can stay and a really great filtration system of how many rooms you want. If you're traveling with pets, if you're traveling with kids, you can put all of that in there and easily seek what you're looking for. When you're getting furnished housing, it's really nice because you don't have to bring a ton of stuff with you. Usually they're fully stocked in the kitchen. They've got cooking supplies and all those things, so you don't have to bring that stuff with you. And then also, usually you can either rent monthly or you can rent for the entire contract. There are some cons that come with this though. There have been some scammers. You're gonna wanna make sure that you do some thorough research before you give somebody their money. If you pay in advance, especially if you pay for your whole contract in advance, which I do not advise, and you get there and the place is not what you expected, or it's in a bad area, it could be hard to get your money back. The thing I really don't like about Airbnbs is that they are usually just significantly higher to rent. And the other con is just be aware of extra fees. You're gonna have a deposit. You might have a pet deposit and an extra pet fee if you're bringing your fur baby with you. You're also gonna have cleaning fees, and sometimes there's an application fee. And so the price that you see is not gonna be the price that you pay, so make sure that you're looking at the total rate. So now on to tips, especially with Airbnbs and VRBO with a vacation rental situation. If you call them and let them know that you are a travel nurse in the area to help out at a local hospital, they might be willing to work with you and significantly lower that rate. Only thing I would say about that is be careful because you'll have less protection if you're just Venmoing them money. In Furnish Finders, one thing that you can do is make sure that you're not only just seeking out properties, but you also use the little search feature that is a housing request, because then Furnish Finders actually puts a request out to a whole variety of people in that area, and maybe to a listing that you didn't realize was available. Have the owner do a walk through the property via FaceTime or Facebook Messenger or Zoom or something where you can see them in real time as they're walking through the property, so you can get a really good idea of what you're going to arrive to. Book a hotel room for the first week or 2 weeks so that you can get to know the area better and you can personally go tour some of the different housing situations and make a better decision on which one you want to go with. This is also a really great tip to do just in case there's something wrong with your contracts. The next option is unfurnished housing, which is exactly how it sounds. It's finding an apartment or a condo or something like that that doesn't have any furniture in it. In an unfurnished situation, you're gonna be responsible for bringing your own furniture or buying your own furniture on contract when you get there. There's some good and bad about this. The pro is that it's more cost effective. It's pretty easy to find furniture. All you really need to do is get on Facebook Marketplace and you can find some really cheap furniture, sometimes even free, or get on OfferUp and see if there's any furniture in that area. Also thrift stores, something to fill the apartment for the time that you're there, and then you can sell it when you leave or even donate it for a tax write-off. The cons. Obviously, it's kind of a pain in the butt because you're either gonna have to haul a bunch of stuff with you or buy it all when you get there, and that's a pain. hopefully the place that you get is at least gonna have a refrigerator. A lot of them that I've seen while looking for our next destination have had all the kitchen appliances, and even a lot of them have washer and dryers. So really all you're gonna need to get is a place to sleep, a place to hang out and maybe eat, and some things to cook and eat on. It's probably gonna be less comfortable than a whole furnished place because you're gonna have the bare minimum. It also could be expensive if you're traveling with the family. It depends on how much stuff that you need to buy to make everybody comfortable. Another con is that usually you're gonna have to set up your own utilities for internet, maybe power, water, all of those things that you normally get that come with a furnished place. You're gonna have to set up yourself for a short period of time. If you're planning on traveling this way, it might be a good idea to get a small trailer that you can haul behind you. This is actually something that we've considered so that we can bring our bikes and things and not worry about them getting ruined in the elements. Another option is long-term hotels or hotel suite type of places. There are actually a lot of them out there, and a lot of times they're referred to as corporate housing. These are things like Extended Stay America, which actually specializes in this and usually offer discounts for travel nurses. And then there are all kinds of bigger chains like Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt, Choice, Wyndham. All of those places are gonna have special suites and things that are designated for longer term stays and are usually used for corporate housing. You'll need to contact the manager and talk with them directly to see what kind of deal that they can give you. A huge pro is all the amenities that you're going to get with this. Usually at a hotel, you can find stuff like pools and gyms, and sometimes even like continental breakfast might be included. There are a lot of, and of course, turning your room over, that's a huge amenity. Here's the cons. It's a small space. If you are lucky enough to have a kitchen or like a mini kitchenette area, it's probably not going to be that extensive, and so you're likely not going to be cooking as much inside your hotel room, which means you're going to spend extra money eating out. This next one is the one that I'm the most familiar with, and that is RVing. RVing is a fantastic option if you are wanting to go somewhere and not have to move out of your own space. You take your own space with you, and that's what moves them from place to place. It's always like your home surroundings stay the same, only your location changes, which is really awesome. We loved it for our kids because our kids all had their own spaces and their own beds, and it never had to change no matter what contract that we went to. Okay, there is probably going to be a pretty large upfront expense on RVing, especially if you're looking to buy an RV now. It is the cost of the RV and the truck is going to be high, but once you have that all set up, generally your RV spot is going to be significantly less than renting an apartment or finding furnished housing somewhere. You always have what you need because you're literally bringing your whole house with you. If you're an outdoorsy person, this is a really awesome option for you because you get to be outdoors a lot more. The RV community is amazing. It really is. It far exceeded anything I expected. Our kids have made so many friends. John and I have made lifetime friends from the RV community. Easy travel in between contracts and the ability to go visit a bunch of things in between contracts. Now let's talk about the cons. Some areas are just hard for RVs. It's hard to drive them there. It's hard to find parks there. It's just difficult. RVs break. They break all the time. Brand new ones break, old ones break, and they never stop breaking. You will constantly be having to repair whatever it is, or troubleshooting, or problem solving things that are happening in your RV. Usually in an RV, you're gonna wanna chase the nicer weather because staying somewhere that's really hot, like Phoenix right now is 115, I cannot imagine being in an RV right now. Or somewhere that's really cold, like negative temperatures, it would be very uncomfortable in an RV. Doable, but it is very uncomfortable. And the last one is just the space is tight. One thing that I want to note though is even though we had trouble in some of our locations, we never in 15 contracts ended up without a place to stay. We pull up Campendium and we get on Google Maps. Those are the two basic things that I start with. I will look in that area that we're going and I will just start calling RV parks. Usually booking monthly is gonna be cheaper for you than booking weekly or even daily. Once we do find parks that we wanna stay at, even if there's not availability online, I will call them, let them know that John is a travel nurse helping out in the area, just like you would if you were trying to book an apartment or a hotel or something like that. If you're having trouble finding a place to stay in an area, here's a few tips. try calling some large apartment complexes in the area. They may actually have a couple of apartments that are furnished that they could rent out to you, or even be able to work out a shorter term lease. Often they'll advertise 6 months or 12 months, and they might be willing to do a shorter term with you. Reach out on Facebook groups. There are all kinds of Facebook groups, usually in a certain area that you're going to. Hop in there and then just search and see, ask a question, or use the search feature and see if you can find anyone else who is having trouble looking for places to stay there. Also, you can do the same thing with Craigslist and Zillow, of all places. I've actually had more luck contacting people on Zillow with them getting back to me than I have on Furnish Finders. Just get on Google Maps and look in that area. This works better with like a larger city, but get on that area and then like search in the, like type in the search function corporate housing, and it will pull up places that you might be able to call and look into. Be persistent. Be willing to drive. Ask your recruiter, contact us, contact your recruiter, and see if they have any ideas or tips. They might have some special deal with a place in that area where they could help get you housing. And finally, if you've already started your contract and maybe you're staying in a hotel for the time being until you find something new, ask your coworkers, ask your manager, and see if they have any suggestions for you. Hopefully, after all of this, you have a better idea on how to secure housing. Now it's time to start your job. In the next video, John will be back to let you know how you can prepare for your first day at work. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.